What's good, everybody? Welcome into another Football Friday with Five Star. We'll call it that if that's not what it was called before.
Yeah, predictions, picks and predictions.
We switch it up,
We switch it up.
but it's good to be back.
Yes, sir.
I think last week you gave out some nice winners,
Yeah.
and see if we can get to it again this week. Anything you wanna say before we get started?
Nothing, man. Let's just get to the money. I appreciate everyone that's in the chat. I appreciate everyone who rocks from Ski and myself, man. It's always good to be here on Fridays. Let's have a big weekend, guys.
Let's get it. Jose Perez in the chat. Appreciate you. There goes
What's up? What's up, Jose? I ain't heard from Jose in a while. What's good, Jose? Good to see you, man.
Everybody ready to go.
Let's
KC
go.
in the building. Chappie Funk.
What's up? What's up, Chapman? What's up, Jay?
And Bengals was nice yesterday. I did have a winner on the Bengals. So
good work, man.
Let's get to it.
Took a L first half. They played me on that one. Steelers, because that boy Rodgers was working with the punt.
You know how you
bro, we up 10 to nothing.
You know how
going into like 5 minutes left in the quarter. They just like, here's 17 points.
That's how you throw it up there too, just like that,
bro. That was sick.
My bad.
What up, Q? I see you up in there. There's Q right there.
Yeah.
What up, Q?
Everybody coming in. They've been waiting for this one.
Yeah, my people. What up, Scott? What it do, boy?
And Sergio reminding everybody to hit the like button.
My dog
definitely helps out the show.
That's my dog, Serge, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
All right.
Shout out Tim. What up, Tim?
Damn, everybody in the chat now.
Yeah,
man.
We about to have a great show. We got all our people in here.
Let's get it.
All right.
A little bit of college first. I got a lot to talk about in the NFL. He want to talk to NFL too. But we're going to get these kids out the way, these badass little kids.
Let's get these amateurs out the way.
First up, 375, 376, Washington and Michigan. It opened -6 for Michigan. I see it dropping. It's dropping as low as, I'll say like that, dropping as low as 4.5. There's different numbers depending on what you like. So make sure you line shop to get the best of the number. Total hasn't really moved. I don't think you're looking at this one from a total perspective. So over there in Michigan, I don't know. I don't have much to say on this one. I'm gonna just pass it off to you. I have a feeling, I don't know. I think you're going with the home team, not the underdog this time.
Yeah, home team first half only. We're gonna cut in half because guess what? The -3 never changed. But for the full game, it's changed to 4.5. The reason why we spoke about this before on here, the Washington Huskies are the best fourth quarter team in college football. Now they have an 80-10 margin on their opponents in the fourth quarter. So we're not messing with Jed Fish after halftime, right? But beginning of the game, we think that Michigan is going to be really fired up. The big house is going to be packed. They need this game after getting embarrassed last week against USC. A lot of pressure on Sharon Moore. Good thing for him, Kirk Cignati signed an 8-year extension for Indiana. Any Penn State fans inside of the chat, I apologize, bro, that y'all thought you was going to get Kirk Cignati. You dropped the ball. You fired James Franklin. Now you guys are going to be stuck. But Sharon Moore can breathe a little bit because they did give him an extension, so maybe he doesn't lose his job. But he's under a lot of pressure, man. They feel like he's underachieving. I don't feel like Harbaugh left the program in a good situation for him. He goes to the presser on Monday. He had on a work jacket, a mechanic jacket with his name on it. I'm like, bro, come on, you corny now. Like, nobody want to hear that. The only thing people care about is results. They don't like all the pomp and circumstance, bro. So he went and did all that. So he better have the team ready to play. So Bryce Underwood, we're going to need a big first half from him. I think that the defense for Michigan comes to play. Also, another thing to factor in is the long flight from Seattle going to Ann Arbor, which is outside the Detroit area. That's a long flight, bro. And it's going to be early as hell. On the West Coast, it's going to be 9 a.m. So that's a really early time to start. Washington has struggled in the first half, but they've been lights out after halftime. Let's go with Michigan for the first half at -3. Even though the line's 4.5 now, it has not changed on the first half. So I think that we're on the right side with that one. Damon Williams is a special player, bro. He's only the 16th player in FBS history to have at least 400 yards passing and 100 yards on the ground. He did that last week against Rutgers. So we're not fading Huskies in the second half. We'll probably take the Huskies second half, but let's go first half -3 with the Wolverines at the big house.
All right, get in and get out on this one. Get that money and run. Next game up, we're going to go LSU at Vandy. And this one, Not much movement. Yeah, not much movement side or total. But Vandy did have a couple weeks to prepare for this one. I think it's a revenge game for them. And I don't know. For me, I don't know if I'm tripping, but it's like if I look at this game, I wouldn't expect LSU to be the underdog.
Yeah.
So it looks a little funny to me. So
Yeah.
I mean, some money somewhere.
Yeah, this is the first time in their whole school history that Vanderbilt's been a favorite, and that's my problem, right? I know they have a much better team, super solid coach over there, but their head coach actually used to be Brian Kelly's understudy. He was Brian Kelly's defensive coordinator, so that's something to watch. And they also say that he's going to be a major candidate for the Penn State job as well. When it comes to LSU, it's Brian Kelly is not a smart play call. He's not a good coach, in my opinion, but they have so much talent and they have a really, really good defensive coordinator over there, Blake Baker. And I think that he's going to have the best defense by personnel wise in the country ready to play. LSU has the most guys who are going to go in the NFL draft in the spring or in the following spring, depending on when they come out. They have about 7 to 8 pros starting on that side of the ball for them. The next team that I think is right behind them as far as in talent is probably Texas and Florida on defense, A&M on defense. All of those are really solid. Ohio State is right there, 1A, 1B with LSU. But LSU's defense should be able to give Diego Pavia some problems. Diego Pavia wants to play backstreet ball. When you're playing backstreet ball, you got to have the athleticism that's going to be able to make plays on defense. You got defensive guys over there with LSU who's running 4.4s, 4.5s. Aaron Anderson is supposed to be back. I think the LSU just needs to get to 24 points and they can win this game. It's been pretty difficult lately for them because the quarterback, Nussmeier, is dealing with an oblique. And if you ever play quarterback, that's a difficult injury to have because you get all of your spin on the ball from turning. You have to use your torso. So he's been really inaccurate because of that, but he's toughing it out and he's been playing. But LSU can't lose another game after going to Ole Miss and losing a game that they should have won. I think that LSU goes to Vanderbilt and handles their business. I don't think that they allow the Commodores to surprise them. The Commodores live off running the ball. They have to run the ball first, and I think LSU is going to shut the run down. The difficult part for me is how does LSU score? But I think they figure out how to get enough points. It'll be a low scoring game, but give me LSU just off tradition and off of what's on the front of the jersey.
All right, good stuff on that. Everybody asking about another game, but
okay,
I'm not gonna lie, we ain't picked to talk about that game.
What are you talking about? What, the Georgia Tech and Duke game?
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
I don't know nothing about that game because it's gonna be too tight, man. That's a game. Just real brief, it's going to be a really close game, guys. That's a game that's going to pretty much shake down to the market, bro. I'm going to be honest with you, because it could go either way. It's going to shake down to the market on that.
All right, let's get to the last game that we want to talk about here, and that looks like Ole Miss and Georgia. I'm going to just pass it right off to you. I'm ready to get to the pros, man.
I already know it. So we're going with the hedges. We're going to the hedges, and we're going with the hedges. We go with those Georgia Bulldogs. There's no way in hell that I'm going to take those points with Ole Miss because they're inviting you. I see people bet it down already with 7 in the hook. I love 7 in the hooks because I know when I see that 7 in the hook out there, the books want you to jump on and be, oh, they're going to buy a touchdown. And then with Ole Miss being known for being an offensive team, these two teams have a penchant for blowing each other out at home. The last 4 times that they met each other, whenever Ole Miss was at home, they took care of business. Whenever Georgia was at home, they took care of business. And none of the contests were actually close. I think the Trinidad Chambliss has played a little bit over his head. We saw against LSU, if it wasn't for Brian Kelly's mishaps and mismanagement of the game, I think they would have lost that game. But this is a brand new step up for him playing in the SEC, and this is his first road game in the SEC. Going to Georgia is a really tough place to go. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that your boy Lane Kiffin, he made some jokes this week about Kirby Smart being fat. So I think Kirby Smart going to try to run it up on him, man. Last year, Ole Miss beat the hell out of Georgia. It wasn't because of Jackson Dart. I watched the game. It was because Austin Simmons came in when Dart was scared and was crying. I remember we was texting during that game, and Austin Simmons came in and took over and was able to get them rolling in the first half, and then they held on from there. I think it's a different ball game this week. I think that the books know that. That's why they put that 7 out there. So we're going with Georgia. I think they win by multiple scores on this one.
All right, good shit on that. In the college, let's get to it, man. I'm enjoying NFL lately.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep that going here this week. I'm not gonna lie. A couple of the games that you want to talk about were the only games that were not on my radar. So I'm interested to hear your opinion on them because they were the harder ones for me. Okay. And this is one of them right here. Panthers and Jets. I'm gonna be honest with you, Five. When I see the Jets on the schedule, I just skip over that shit. I don't even think about trying to bet the game.
Right.
Carolina. I don't know. I view Carolina as better than the Jets. So to see the Jets open up as a favorite, that's another one that looked a little funny to me. I'm curious how you attacking it.
Going on the road, Carolina has won 3 games at home, and they've been blown out on the road 3 times. And I think that's going to be very similar in this game. We saw the Jets show a little life last week, out of the country. I think they were in London or somewhere playing. And they showed a little life on defense. Aaron Glenn is still a buffoon. But, I mean, that's too big of a media market for them to go winless. I think that the NFL is going to show them some pity. He'll get a couple calls in this one. I think this is a big game for Justin Fields. Justin Fields hasn't thrown an interception, but it's because he's afraid to throw the ball. So maybe he can let the ball fly a little bit this game. He will have his main receiver out, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that he's going to play this week. But even with that said, I think this is a defensive game for the Jets. I think they're able to swallow up Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is a guy who's right on the cusp of being a decent quarterback, but at this time, he's still kind of feeling himself out. And he's not a guy I'm going to bet on the road, especially against a team who's really hungry for a win. I mean, the Jets need a win. It's really embarrassing what they're doing up there in New York, man. So much as it pains me, I will be playing the Jets on this one. I already put it in earlier in the week. I think that they're going to win money line. Just a tough travel for Carolina. Also, them coming off of flying high from beating the Cowboys. I just think that this is a really good spot for the Jets.
All right. 5-star says Jets get their first win of the season. Man, y'all brave. That's with them Jets game. I'm just want to be on the sideline cheering for y'all, man.
Carolina's sorry too. They both sorry. So
Casey said, betting on these teams, you're gonna be watching from the bar.
Never, Casey. I'm not coming to a bar to watch anything. No, I'm gonna be at home.
All right, let's get to the next one. The next one I do like, and I want to talk about a little bit too. It's Giants and Broncos.
Yeah.
Opened up -8 for Denver. It's come down to 7.
Yeah.
Total hasn't really moved. So as soon as I saw the end of the last game, man, with the Giants, immediately I said, I can't wait to fade them next week. Not Jackson Dart coming off of that high and that win, going on the road now to face Sean Payton and his defense. He gonna be in hell.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. The problem I have is I don't necessarily like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I don't want to trust him to win by 7, but I think they can.
Yeah.
I was considering teasing this one with another game that we'll talk about later. Do you think they can get it done by a touchdown?
They'll get to the number. The reason why is because the Broncos are going to be really fired up this week. This is something that angle for me. Demaryius Thomas, the great Broncos receiver, rest in peace. He passed. And unfortunately, a couple of years ago, he had a seizure in the shower and failed and died, man. And was a pretty young man that just stopped being, playing in the NFL. And they're retiring his jersey this week in Denver. They're going to have a lot of emotions in this game. The crowd is going to be fired up. It's an emotional situation. And not only that, another thing to look at in this game is that it's a lot of back and forth right now going on. The Broncos defense, for some reason, they don't like Jackson Dart. They've been calling him out. Yeah, if you go look, it's a couple of defensive linemen. I think Nick Bonito was one that was saying they can't wait to play Jackson Dart. He's overrated. So we're going to see that as long as we keep it with all the public love on Jackson Dart and Scatterboo, and, they love those Jersey Shore kids.
My dog.
Yeah, they both my dogs. I like them both. I like Jackson Dart. I like how he moves. I think if Jackson Dart continues at the pace he is right now, he'll be another type, Brett Favre type of player where, he has extreme ups extreme lows, but he's always entertaining. And the NFL love players like that because what they do is they use the public to gauge how they're going to run these games. And Jackson Dart is already one of those guys. If he's at home and he's playing as a underdog and it's a lot of money on the favorite, you see what happens. When he go on the road, just like with the Saints, and now everyone's believing in him, they're using him to pull the rug from under you. So I'll be playing the Broncos on this one. The group already played it at -6.5. Anyone who's watched the Wagering World for a long time know I'm not a Bo Nix guy. Like, I can't believe he's in the pros, but similar to Jackson Dart, they both ended up in really good spots because coaching is 50% of the success for a NFL quarterback. And with him landing it with Sean Payton is just a real quarterback guru. He knows what to do with the position. He knows how to make it easier for guys who are having difficulties playing that position and transitioning from college. So he helped Bo Nix a lot, made it where now you can see that Bo Nix is kind of athletic, but the thing about him, if you hit him hard enough, he'll throw it away, bro. And he's been like that since he was at Auburn. But I think in this spot right here, he's going to shine. Someone just put up that he was 5-1 against the NFC, and that is a fact.
Yes, my guy LJ.
Yeah, so the Giants do have a good, pass rush, but you think their DBs are going to continue to be able to hold up like they have? Like they got all backups here and in the defensive backfield, all scrubs. The stuff that they did, those miracles that we saw them do on Thursday night against the Eagles, we won't see again. So give me the Broncos in this one, -7.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be no Ringo out there this week, my boy. You can't just throw that shit up.
Right.
And hope for the best versus Ringo.
Hope for the best.
You're gonna be getting that shit taken away and going the other way.
Yeah, all that scrambling and stuff he doing, he gonna have a couple turnovers in that game for sure.
All right, so defense probably mostly get the job done for the Broncos. That's how I'm seeing it. 5 thinks they get it done as well. Next game up, and it's another game that I didn't look at. I'm not surprised that you picked it. But the more I think about it, I can get involved here. I can probably get involved here. It opened -2.5 for Seattle. It did get up to, I see 3 or 3.5, depending on where you shop. Total came down a point from 42 to 41. So Seahawks, I was skeptical of them earlier in the season as far as, will Sam Darnold still look good behind this line? But, he still looks solid. The Texans, we were talking earlier in the season, what's wrong, what's going on. The one thing that they do have going for them is they're going to play some defense. So I think that the Texans are in a desperate situation. And I think that they'll lean on their defense heavily and play a competitive game, if not get away with the win in this one. Is that how you seeing it?
This is a perfect spot. And the reason why it's a perfect spot is because, one, it's a Monday night game, standalone. Seahawks are a much more popular brand nationally than the Texans are. The only people who really watch the Texans are people in Houston, like, people like myself and my son who are fans of the Texans and from Houston. Besides that, it's not a national brand, and people have a really bad image of the Texans as well, because now with them losing early, it's like, oh, it's the same old Texans, But the Texans had the best defense by far in the entire league. They've only allowed 61 points this entire season, man. The most points they've given up in one game is 17 points. The Seahawks, to me, are one of the more overrated teams in the league, right up there with the Colts. The Seahawks, when you think about it, what do they do well on offense? Like, you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, but besides that, it's not a lot. So now you're leaning on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, by nature, just like Daniel Jones, is a turnover guy. He's been a turnover guy his entire life, whether it was at USC.
You get pressure on him?
If you put pressure on him, he's going to turn the ball over, man. Simple as that. And the Texans bring the most pressure in the NFL with 4. They're the only team in the NFL that has 2 defensive ends that are in the top 10 in pressure percentage and also in sacks. So that my boy Will Anderson and my boy Danielle Hunter are going to go crazy this game. They're going to get to the quarterback. Also, the offense is turning the corner. Nick Caley showed me a couple different things the last couple weeks. People are saying, oh, well, the Ravens suck. They didn't have anybody. It don't matter. It's about getting that good energy and good feel again. We know that Nico Collins is the top 10 receiver in the league. We know C.J. Stroud is top half of quarterback in the league, at least top 15. And when he's on game and right, he's top 10. So I think C.J. is turning the corner. I think he's going to be really focused for this game. great thing for us as Texans backers is that one, this is the end of the week, so all these money line parlays that the books are going to want, all these teasers that the books are going to want. And then I feel like we have a better roster. The Texans just started slow. They gave away a couple games, but I honestly feel like the strongest unit of anything in this game is the Texans defense. And hopefully we get chance to see JSN get chance to go against my boy, because everyone's saying that Stingley and him is the matchup. So Stingley, I think he missed a couple practices this week. It was something small, though. I think he's going to for sure play. If not, he has to go on the other side and catch hell as well. So I think that the Texans get this one done money line. My biggest bet of the week was the Texans plus 3.5. Me and the group took it early in the year. I slammed it, and I can't wait till Monday night to watch this one with my son.
Should be a good one, and definitely think that defense shows up. All right, let's talk a couple more. Next, this is an early one. This one I want to talk about real quick. It ain't gonna be much I gotta say, but the Jaguars run defense. They don't allow a lot of rushing touchdowns. They don't allow a lot of success on the ground, if I'm not mistaken. It's the secondary where they can be hurt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The Rams, really good passing team, but they're missing their top target. They're missing the number one guy who makes it happen. Nakua is not going to be playing this week. And when he was not out there, or when he's not out there, the Rams offense starts to look pedestrian because they don't have a good run game. Kyron, he fumble all the time, and you can't trust the guys behind him.
Yeah.
So I don't trust the Rams to score. I do still think the Rams have a good defense.
Yeah.
So I'm on under 45 in this game. I'll lead aside picking everybody else. Anything you want to add on this one?
I have no play on it, just a slight opinion. It's just Jacksonville plays really good in London. We know this is like their home away from home. I believe the owner has a premier team over there or something, or he does a lot of business over in London. He may be from there. I can't remember why the connection is there, but they were the first team in the NFL that was consistently going over to London. They almost moved the team there. So they really play good there. It'll be an actual home game for them. The Rams not used to having a lot of home crowds anyway, though, because even in their home stadium at SoFi, they always have the opponents' fans usually, mob out and take over the stadium. Devontae Adams, can he go from playing the X position and now playing the Cool's? Why? Because that's the only option that they truly have. Because if you look at their roster, who you going to trust in the Cool's position? Like you're not going to trust, the little thin ass receiver Juju Atwell. So it'll be very interesting. I do know Sean McVay is smart, so he can come up with some different concepts, and you still got Matt Stafford, top 5 quarterback over there. So I could definitely see the under on the side. If things stay the way that they are now, I think the Rams can still win this game. But we'll see. We still got a long way to Sunday. We got to let the market shake out on this one. It's going to be a tight game.
All right, next, keep moving. It's another one that I like that I already played too. Dolphins and Browns. And not the most movement here on the side. Big movement on the total. Did open 41.5 down to 37. And Miami. I'm just keep it simple on this one. I'm not gonna even break it down too much. This is the weather game. It's just we've seen the Browns games so many times where it's just the crazy weather. They're gonna have wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Like the wind is the number one thing. It's worse than rain, worse than snow, worse than anything else as far as for the total. Like when you want to bet an under because of weather, it's wind. So the Dolphins, the run game, not great. Offensive line they're not gonna be able to win in the trenches. I think that they're not gonna be able to score.
Yeah.
The Browns, their offense is ass too. We just saw last week. First, the Steelers defense was able to hold them to under 10. The Steelers defense been getting lit up by everybody.
Yeah,
they ass.
They super ass.
How are we going to expect the Browns to score? They might run a little bit better than the Dolphins and be able to score, once or something, and that might be enough to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I like under 32. I took an alternate total plus 200. Browns have played 7 of these, big win games. Only one of them has passed 31 points, I believe. So I don't think we get there in this game. Plus 200, I'll take under 32. Anything you'd like to add here?
That's a really dope alternate that you're playing. When you look at this game, now you're saying the weather's involved, and that's going to make a big difference because neither one of these teams are like a run first team. Well, I guess the Browns, Junkins is a run first, but can they just line up every play and dominate Miami like that? Maybe they can. Excuse me, maybe they can because Miami isn't like they aren't a juggernaut on defense. They have been playing better. They had a first time defensive coordinator over there, Anthony Weaver, and he wasn't getting a lot of respect. But ever since that fumble that they got against the Jets, when the Jets was driving in and they hurt their kid and but they've been playing better. So it's just an ugly game that I wouldn't put a quarter on. But one thing that I would look for in this game is I think that you got a definite quarterback advantage with the Dolphins because Dylan Gabriel is pitiful, bro. He's a hospital ball thrower. They made a film showing his passes last week against the Steelers. He's just like how I feel. He's worse than Bo Nix because Bo Nix at least had size and a little athleticism. Dylan Gabriel is like a great value version of Tua, a Dollar Tree version of Tua, and Tua isn't even enough of an athlete in order to be successful in the NFL. It doesn't have a strong enough arm to be successful in the NFL. And Tua was one of the baddest boys to ever come through Alabama. Just when he got hurt and broke his hip, he's never had that quickness again. Gabriel just don't have it, man. So with the win, him having to drop back and he's already inaccurate, might be some turnovers. The thing that I like about the Dolphins in this game as a side is that you got Mike McDonald who throws already a lot of screens. He throws a lot of screens to Ashan, throws a lot of screens to Waddle. And now they just recently got the tight end over there now who's a playmaker, came from the Raiders and retired and came back again. And he scored a touchdown in every game. And they can get him the ball around the end zone as well. So I think that Mike McDaniel's a smart enough coach to figure out how to be effective with his offense enough in that weather, whereas Stefanski is just ass. As we saw last night, look at Joe Flacco now. He go to Cincinnati and he's looking like a completely different guy, right? Because it's not only the receivers, it's just the plays that Zach Taylor was calling for him. He was highlighting his strengths, whereas with Cleveland, I don't know what the hell Stefanski is doing, bro. He's just over there, like he's trying to get fired or something. But another thing to look for is that the defensive coordinator for the Browns is really aggressive. He's been aggressive his whole career, wherever he's been the DC at. So all of that blitzing and stuff that he likes to do, if Ashan catches them in the wrong blitz on the screen, he's going 90, he's going 80. So I think that the Dolphins will be able to win this game as a side. It's not an official play, but it's definitely a lean for me just because you have a more talented quarterback, a better head coach who's going to be able to figure things out and how to operate in the conditions.
I'm not going to bet it. It's not official for me either, but I'm just going to say I disagree. Okay. I think the quarterback is neutralized by such strong wind.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but what about the play calling? See, if you run short, the Dolphins already run a bunch of screens.
Mm-hmm.
And that plays right into the wheelhouse of Cleveland because no matter how much their defensive coordinator wants to, he cannot not blitz. He loves it. He gets a high off of it, sending people.
Well, if he does that,
that's what he does, bro. Anyone who knows the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, he is a blitz happy guy. That's his thing. He likes to blitz. So that's the only reason why I would name Miami. I wouldn't bet Cleveland with my enemy's money. I told you that. Yeah, I'm not betting on them. Is you crazy?
I would need them to just keep it simple and hand it off every time.
Yeah. And Keyshawn Jeffries is that guy. He's nice.
But I'm not betting aside. I'll stick with my under. That's what I like in that one.
Yeah, for sure.
This next one, I haven't bet yet, but I like it. I'm pretty sure I'm betting it. And it's the Titans at home versus the Patriots. Open Patriots -6, up to that 7 now. And for the Patriots, I'm just going to double check here. I'm pretty sure this is their third straight road game. So, yeah, third straight road game for them. And in general, I just think the Patriots are overrated. Like before the season, I said before, I was thinking about their win total over because their schedule is just so easy.
Yeah.
I think that Tennessee's pass defense is a little bit better than whatever the numbers that they have out there are. And I think that Tennessee so far, I mean, they played some really good defense. They played Houston. We already talked about how good Houston is. They played the Rams. They played Denver. All teams who can pressure you and
difficult last place schedule. They schedule harder than Buffalo.
Now you get the Patriots secondary.
Yeah,
this is where Cam Ward can actually have some success.
Yeah.
So I think he can do enough to keep this one respectable, keep it within the touchdown. Can you talk me off?
I personally would go probably first half New England on this one, and I'd probably like the over for the game, just because the Patriots have, as you said, a lot of mishaps in the defensive backfield, but they also can score. And even though the Titans have a decent pass offense, Drake May, he's been playing really well. He has a lot of weapons over there. People aren't watching the fact that these receivers and him are starting to make a really good connection. You got Stephon Diggs, who's, of course, the veteran and the leader. They have a great connection starting, but keep an eye on Kayshon Boutte. He's the guy who was at LSU, should have been a number 1 pick, got caught up in some gambling stuff, but he's actually a real LSU wide receiver 1 that they got over there for literally nothing, like at the end of the draft or maybe in free agency. And also, we saw some plays last week from Demario Douglas. He had 2 big plays down the field. Angle for me on this one, why I won't be playing the Titans, with you, is because we got to remember that the head coach for the Patriots got a raw deal in Tennessee. So I'm not so sure that he's not coming in with an edge, because he's that type of guy. So he's going back to Tennessee. The Adams family fired him for nothing after they traded away A.J. Brown on him, and he was having Tannehill sorry ass with the number 1 seed in the AFC. So he got a raw deal over there. So I'll be careful that he doesn't try to go raw dog the Titans in this one to make a point, because that's the type of head coach that he is. So keep an eye on that one. I think that New England can blow this team out if they come to play, because I've watched Cam Ward since Incarnate Word, and I always worried that the problem that he was going to have is backyard football doesn't work in the NFL. You can only do it so long. It's not a lot of quarterbacks who've been successful. That's how they play ball. Russell Wilson in his prime, maybe. Besides that, who can you name? It's about being able to work from the pocket. And Cam doesn't work from the pocket good, bro. He doesn't see the field that good. That's why he's always looking to see his first read and then kind of bail and then make it where now it's a second reaction play. But he can't make every throw. So if he's on game, it'll be okay. Another thing I'm worried about with the Titans on this one, this is a pushback, is new regime. We don't know how the team's going to respond to whoever's the new head coach that's replaced Callahan. So a lot of shaking up things to do. But if I was going to play aside personally, I'd probably lean the Patriots first half. I just think that their head coach is going to be kind of ticked off going back to Tennessee. He doesn't like that team at all.
Couple things. Number 1, we know every single sport we see this.
Mm-hmm.
The coach gets fired, the team responds and shows up big.
Yep.
Every sport, no matter how sorry they are, we see it all the time.
True.
And this is the easiest defense that they're gonna see to do it against. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what the other one was, but
look, I'm gonna show you something.
Forgot what the other one was, but yeah, I don't know. I might have to just be on my own. I like the Titans in this one, man.
You're not on your own.
What I was gonna say
like the Titans.
This what I was gonna say. The other one is Kappa Kappa right here.
Right.
You ain't gotta say it out loud, but I know why you're taking the first half, and I'm gonna be involved in that second half for that reason.
Yeah, because they get busy. Look, that's my fantasy team this week. So that I just think, man, that Vrabel is pretty sharp, man. And I wouldn't be surprised. They might backdoor the guy. They made sure they got there against Arizona, right? Like, we never seen some of the plays that happened in that Arizona game that made the Titans get their only win. So, hey, we never know. One thing about the NFL is very close to WWE. There's no telling what's going to be the outcome. So,
Stephen says you can't run on New England, though. Titans, no, I don't need them to run. They don't have no run game. They're going to pass on them. All right. Let's keep it going down the list. This one is the one I have the biggest question for you on.
Okay.
Eagles and Vikings. And it opened -2.5 for the Eagles. Looks like 1.5 now. Total went up about 1.5 to 44. So the Vikings had a bye week. Come here well rested at home. I mean, both teams really need a win, but well rested at home. And then you get, I mean, I'm not sure if it'll be Carson Wentz or JJ, but you get Justin Jefferson versus Eagle second. I know they get Quinyon back this week, but Ringo's still gonna be out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like that Eagle secondary can still be had. I think that the Eagles, uh, maybe it's just bad juju going on over there, bad in the locker room. So I wanted. This is the team where I was thinking of pairing with the Broncos on a teaser,
Okay.
putting the Vikings up to 7.5. So I want to ask you: do you think the Eagles have a problem in the locker room? Do you think they can turn it around? And also with the Vikings, do you trust? I forgot his name, but the Brian Flores, the
Brian
defensive
Flores,
coordinator,
one of the best in the game.
to mess with Hurts in this game.
He gonna shut that mess down. Let's 2 weeks to prepare for him, and he's one of the easier quarterbacks to prepare for. And the reason why is because he's very limited on what he can do in the pass game. It's like mostly just go routes. That's and to the tight end. That's his thing. They win. The Eagles win with establishing the run game. I don't know what gets into Jalen Hurts in Super Bowls, but he never plays that way in the regular season. And another thing that I'd be watching for with this entire Eagles season is anytime that you're dealing with them coming off a Super Bowl and losing an assistant coach, right? The last time they came off the Super Bowl and they lost Shane Steichen to the Colts, they fell off for a year. They didn't look good that entire year. They ended up, I think, losing the playoffs at the Bucs, right? Same thing this year. They lose their offensive coordinator. He goes and becomes the head coach for the Saints, and now he's hired Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo isn't doing a good job of getting Saquon Barkley involved, not doing a good job of getting A.J. Brown involved. I don't know what the hell he's calling, but it's way too vanilla. And Nick Sirianni is a motivation guy. Even though he played receiver, he's not really a good offensive coordinator. That's why Andy Reid fired him. He's not an OC guy. So Andy Reid fired him like this kid doesn't know shit about offense, right? And that's why he has kind of like a beef with Andy Reid for firing him and everything like that. But Nick Sirianni is more like a motivation guy, CEO type. Does a really good job as a head coach, but when it comes to X and O's, he's not really innovative. The best play he came up with is the tush push, which is a really good play because it serves a purpose, and it's only probably going to be in the league one more year. This year is going to be gone. But I definitely would lean the Vikings in this one, especially with a week off. You know how highly I think of Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. I think that they're two of probably the best tandem in the NFL as far as in offensive coach, offensive-minded coach, defensive coordinator. I also like the Broncos, too. The Broncos have a really good defensive coordinator in Sean Payton. So, yeah, I'm leaning Vikings on this one. I haven't played it yet, but if everything stays the way it is, me and the group will probably be playing the Vikings money line on this one.
Yeah, I might just put it together, like I said, with the Broncos. You can get them to 7.5 for the Vikings and down to 1 for the Broncos. I think that's a pretty solid teaser.
Yeah.
All right, last game I want to talk about here before we shut it down, before we can go enjoy ourselves a little bit.
I can't wait. It's been a long week of talking. Anybody who knows me, man, if my guys is in the chat who personally know me, he know me, and they're both the same that we don't do a lot of talking. We like to chill. So this is kind of, we enjoy getting out the information to you, but at the end of the week, you be like, man, it's over. Yep. Good. Yeah.
Finally get to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Where I go? Oh, there we go. Colts and Chargers. Opened up, Chargers -1.5, hasn't really moved. Total 48 was the opener, hasn't moved that much either. First thing I'll say, before I even talk about the side, I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
I know that the Chargers haven't been, Chargers' weakness for as long as I can remember has been the run.
Right.
And that's the strength of the Colts. The Colts got a good offensive line. They got Jonathan Taylor. And I trust Shane Steichen to have the scripted plays, flowing good to start the game.
Right.
The Chargers, I think they can take advantage of the Colts secondary.
Yeah.
Obviously you need some protection. Last week they didn't have Sawyer. He's been practicing this week. I think he'll be out there. We'll see if Joe Alt can play. He's limited practice starting yesterday. but the line at the very least should look better than last week. And as a Charger fan, I don't even care that Bozeman has illness. He stinks. Whoever we can put in besides Bozeman, I'm good with that.
Right.
So if you can get some protection, Chargers, Herbert has plenty of options. Quinn Johnston's back practicing. He's going to play this week. Chargers can take advantage of their secondary. I'm thinking the first quarter, 9.5 points seems very, very doable with the scripted plays for both. So before I'm talking about a side, any thoughts on getting 10 points in that first quarter?
I could see that for sure because how Harbaugh coaches is he kind of feels teams out, anyway, and then he's one of those guys that makes really good adjustments in game as well. I'm not a Daniel Jones guy. Like he's not going to sell me. I know. Thank you, Greg. He said he's throwing 2 interceptions. Hey, that's a great point because you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like you can only hide it so long before you become who you are. That's why I said Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones aren't fooling me. Like when it really comes down to it, you play some A1 competition, a team that's going to really pressure you and a team that's going to make you think. That's the main thing. Like the defensive coordinator, Jesse Mentor for the Chargers, is a good defensive coordinator. And also, I like to think about safeties when we come to quarterback play, because safeties are what it's like chess between the safety and the quarterback. You got one of the best safeties in the game with the Chargers. I think he's going to be able to bait Daniel Jones when it counts. I think the Chargers are going to win this game. I'm really close to pushing the button on them. I haven't yet, but I think that this is a great spot for them. Joe Out comes back, it's really going to be a good spot.
If he play, bro, I'll smash them up.
Yeah, because now they can run the ball because they're going to get behind Big Joe and run their peel. So, because I don't like it. You know how I am. Like Herbert, I think he's very talented, a good quarterback. I'm not a Herbert hater, but I do think that the media makes you say, come on, man, they take it a little bit too far.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm with you as far as people pump him up.
Yeah.
But I'm giving him credit for what I saw at the end of the game last week. That he did what he had to do to win the game.
He always does that, though. He's a great quarterback, but he just still – it hasn't –
He's overrated.
He's overrated. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a great – I give him he's like a B quarterback, bro. He's right on the verge of being an elite quarterback, but other pundits make him an elite quarterback. And you can't be an elite quarterback. They have the nerve to say he's the best quarterback in that division. Like, what the hell are you smoking? Like, you got Patrick Mahomes with 3 Super Bowl rings before 30 has broken all these records. It goes too far. It just goes too damn far. And that's what pisses me off about it.
I'm going to have to ask him what they smoking.
Right, bro. They on some good. But it's if you look at these articles, you look all over X, bro, it's like that's a pretty much but all year they were saying it. But the great thing about sports is you got to play. Because remember, they was talking about Josh Allen's the best in the whole league. Justin Herbert's best in the league. Now we get to week 6 or 7 where we in. What happened? The cream rise to the top. Who looks like the best quarterback in the league right now? Mahomes, because he is. But as far as in this game, we're going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers get this one done. Daniel Jones turns the ball over. They have to shut down Jonathan Taylor. Because if he gets to going crazy, they're in trouble because now they can go play action. They can hit that young tight end who's a real baller. They can do all types. It's no pressure on Daniel Jones. They got to make it where Daniel Jones is behind the sticks and he's facing a lot of 3rd and longs. And then they'll be able to win this game, I think.
Another thing to think about here is we talked about the Patriots earlier. I mean, this is another team. And I think you said their name.
Yeah.
They overrated.
Yeah.
They ain't played anybody.
Nobody.
And one of their wins was gifted.
Yeah.
With the dude.
The Broncos.
Missed the field goal, the flag, put him 15 yards.
They could have won the game against the Rams. I'll give them that. If A.D. Mitchell doesn't drop the ball, but when it came down to it, they had the ball still and could have tied the game up with a field goal. And what happened? Daniel Jones throws an interception, right? So you want it to come down to where Daniel Jones is the deciding factor.
Right.
If it comes down to Herbert has the ball, you're in a good position, right?
Right.
If you come down to Daniel Jones, and from the line we're seeing it would have been 1.5, it's going to be a tight game. That means every possession counts. The biggest possessions are going to be 3rd downs. Before the half, can you get a score? And at the end of the game, can you get a score? I like Justin Herbert better than him in all 3 of those situations, right? So just shut down Jonathan Taylor. It's easier said than done because we know the Chargers have always been leaky for some reason on run defense. But as long as they shut him down on the run and slow him down a little bit, I think that this is a Chargers spot.
Last on this one, who do you think is the better head coach?
Oh, out of these two, he's not even close. What do you mean, Harbaugh?
I'm just trying
to check all the boxes. Coaching.
I'm just trying to check all these.
Well, you know how I am. One thing you know about me, that's why a lot of people get mad at me on X, because I hate people who like hot takes. You know, like if you've been betting as long as we have, bro, you understand you have to look at the long picture. Just if you're a businessman and you do business, you're supposed to be able to know that you can't ever really have any success in life or any money if you can't take L's, if you can't take, or if you're unable to see that it's going to be ups and downs in this. But you look for the big picture, and in the big picture of things, how the hell can anyone ever compare Shane Steichen to Jim Harbaugh? This is his first time being an NFL coach, and he's only been there 2 years, and this is his first year being successful. Jim Harbaugh has turned over sorry-ass San Diego University, Stanford sorry-ass, went to Michigan, won a national championship, went to the 49ers, went to the Super Bowl. Like, this is the type of way that I approach betting and sports in general. That's why I get so ticked off when they try to compare Herbert or Josh Allen or Lamar to Mahomes. How can you compare them to a guy who whoops their ass every chance and every year? And then they go to, we're the Chiefs. They got a loaded team. How many Super Bowls has Andy Reid won before Patrick LeVon Mahomes walked into his locker room? Zero. Mahomes is better than Brady. You know why? Brady always had a team around him, and he won in different ways. Sometimes it was the defense, sometimes it was running. He won probably 3 or 4 of those championships where he was the guy. Like, he was the force behind it, him throwing the ball, him doing what he had to do. The other 3 were a lot of team effort game. Seattle game. Damn, it's over. All he has to do is hand the ball off. They throw an interception, right?
Don't remind me.
Bro, exactly. I lost 5 bands on that. But Mahomes is the only quarterback that he was the driving force on every Super Bowl where if he didn't play good, it's over. Like, they're not going to win. So I think that Mahomes is the best talent we've seen in quarterback. And I definitely think that Harbaugh is it ain't even the same class, bro. Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame coach.
So on this note, with that, this was my take on the Chargers. You know I'm a fan, but I'm an even kill. They won their first 3 games. They're facing the Giants. You know, Joe Hawk goes down. I know what happens when we don't have nobody to protect. I know what's coming.
Yeah.
Giants beat us. We still don't have nobody to protect. We lose to the Commanders. Harbaugh, just watching it and hearing him in the you could tell he's pissed off. And you know, like you said, all the success that he's had, you trust him to like.
Wait. I don't mean to cut you off. They say they never seen Brady smoked in the Super Bowl. He lost to Nick Foles. Stop it, bro. Come on. Stop. He lost to Nick Foles, bro. I ain't trying to hear
that. You know, everybody just hate Mahomes, man.
Yeah, you know why. We ain't gonna tell the real reason why. We know why.
Yeah.
We know why.
I just think that Harbaugh, it's important and it's a big deal for him to make the playoff every year.
Yeah.
Like you said, all of the franchise play teams he's built up.
Yeah.
He's not trying to come and have them. They went to playoff now. They not making it. They're not good no more.
Yeah.
Like, I think he keeps doing better and better and better. So when I was listening to him talk, I just felt like he gonna have the team ready to play. And they did a little bit different. They still had holes on the line. They made it work, whatever, enough to get the win. I just feel like you get a good effort from this team. Not only that, they know Joe Alt, if he's not back this game, he's gonna be back next game, and the season is not lost.
Right.
They playing hard to make them playoffs.
Right. I had to throw him up. I heard everything you said. I had to get at this guy right here. We don't do any drooling over here, boy. We get money, first of all. And we state facts, little boy. We state facts over here, little boy. And the facts is this. You've never seen a quarterback like Mahomes that could play from the pocket like Brady and be smart and protect the football, get on the edge and run a 4-5 and truck people, shake them, spin, do whatever he needs to do, and is clutch at the end of the game. Most quarterbacks only have one of those winning traits. He has all 3 of them. That's why we don't do no drooling, boy. We get props. what you need to learn how to do. Stop being a hater, bro. You might make it somewhere in life. I'm gonna give people their props. My favorite quarterback all time is Drew Brees. So I'm gonna give people their props.
I think we did a good enough job here.
You know I be having to call him out, bro. Don't play with me. Drooling. I slap the drool out your mouth, boy. Yo, chill out.
Hey, the chat. Driver dies.
Yeah. Hey, bro. Hey, Jeff, they gonna make me see the real me, Jeff. Shout out Monroe, Louisiana. Shout out Southside, Houston, Texas, man. Don't make me pull out, man. Hey, I'm gonna chill, man. I'm gonna chill.
All right,
We're gonna talk about some sports, Ben.
We did a good enough job. We've been out here 50 minutes. We gave out enough games. I think it's time to go.
Yes, it's time to get to a great Friday afternoon in Vegas. It's beautiful outside. I appreciate everyone in the chat, man. It's all love. We got 90% of all love and 10% haters.
Who you calling a little boy? I'm a grown woman.
Oh, Lord. That's funny. Oh, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. But don't say anything about drooling. If you're a woman, you do the drooling. I don't do the drooling, baby girl.
We go. Oh, man. Hey, this is good. I love the chat on this channel. All right. I think it's time to wrap it up, bro.
It's love, man.
We're going to move to best bet. If I can find it, there we go. Best bet. So, however you like to do. Make sure you let everybody know where they can find you, what you got going, and if you want to recap or give a best bet, however you want to do.
Man, y'all got all the plays. They already know how we feel about this, bro. It's no best play. They all good. So we're gonna do like we did last week, man, to keep winning, bro. I appreciate everyone who rocks with me and Ski, rocks with the Wagering World, Ski Profit, bro. This family, this my little brother right here, bro. So it's real love over here. And we feel the love back from you guys, man. And we appreciate you all. We're going to continue to just get on here every Friday, bro, and try to get you to the window. That's what it's all about. Just all of you guys bet on your own. That's why I love this community, bro, because everyone is doing their own betting. Hey, iron sharpens iron, bro. Let's just keep winning together, guys. Let's keep the positive energy. Keep being able to take a joke. Keep being able to laugh at yourself as well, bro. So it's all love. Y'all know what the plays are. Play them.
Well said. On that note, hey, we'll wrap it up. It's been real. We'll be back next Friday. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action this weekend.